Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing a beautiful shaker card. It would make a gorgeous wedding card, by the way, that features some brand new products from Pinkfresh Studio from their March 2022 release. And we are celebrating this release over on Instagram today with an Instagram hop. There's prizes, lots of projects to share. So if you want to enter to win, be sure to check the link in the description below. Now, I'm using a lot of the same products that you saw in yesterday's video if you were hanging out with me yesterday, including this beautiful Dahlia washi tape. It is one of 5 brand new washi tapes released from Pinkfresh Studio. These are wildly popular, and they are popular because they make beautiful and quick cards. In addition to the washi tapes, there are coordinating dies available, as well as coordinating stamp sets and layering stencils. So there's something for everybody in this release. And I wanted to show you that this Dahlia washi tape is gold foiled and it's gorgeous. And you can see the coordinating stamp set there on the left. The stamp portion that stamps the florals is a one piece, just like the washi rolls out into one piece. So the one piece die coordinates with both the stamp set and the washi. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I love to use this washi on white cardstock, but I also love to use it on vellum because it retains that translucent look. Now, you get a lot more vibrancy in color on a white cardstock, and you could try this on a colored cardstock as well. But I love the look of that kind of ethereal look that it gives when you place this washi onto vellum. And you could do this with any washi tape. The Pinkfresh Studio washi tapes die cut beautifully. They're easy to use. And like I said, they make quick and easy cards. Now, in yesterday's video, I used these as well. I used a mixture of the vellum and the white cardstock backed pieces from the Dahlia washi tape. And I'm also using the same nested diamond foil shapes that I used in yesterday's video as well. I'm going to create a custom shaker window featuring the second and third largest nested diamonds in this set. So I'm starting out by just foiling the diamonds that I want to use. So I'm using the second largest one here. I foiled this on some hammermill cardstock using the Glimmer Champagne foil. It is one of my favorites. And I am going to use the coordinating dies. Now, these are sold separately, so you can either get the dies by themselves if you're not into hot foiling, or if you just want to foil one of these shapes on a card front, you can get the foil plates by themselves. But I'm using the coordinating dies and foil plates together today. And I'm taking the dies that coordinate with the outside and the inside of these shapes, and I'm die cutting both of these dies at once. And that's going to leave me with this beautiful nested diamond frame here. Now, I've done this with the second largest and the third largest sizes in these nested diamond frames. And I'm left with these 3 here. And I'm going to create a custom shaped shaker window today using these 3 frames. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to take the outer die that coordinates with the larger of the nested diamonds that I'm using and the outer die of the smaller of the nested diamonds that I'm using, and I'm going to die cut them from some acetate. That's going to create the perfect size acetate piece for my shaker window. So I'm just holding them in place on this acetate using some scrapbook.com mint tape. And when I die cut acetate, I do like to place my metal shim into my sandwich and then run that through my Gemini Junior. Now, once I have all of these acetate pieces die cut, I am going to adhere them to the back of the frames using a little bit of liquid glue. Now, this is really where these nested dies come in handy because I have the perfect size diamond to place on the back of my diamond frame. And by using these in combination together, you can create frames, you can create basic shapes, you can create basic shapes with a foil on it, or you could even create a window with a foiled frame on it for a shaker card as well, which I think would be super fun. So you would just use the larger diamond to cut a window on your card and then foil the acetate that will nest kind of inside of that window, and you could create a foiled shaker window as well. And I think that would be so cool. Today I'm creating this custom shaped window though, using the 3 of these frames together. So the acetate pieces are on the back of each of these frames already, and now I'm flipping it over and just using some strong double-sided adhesive to adhere these shapes together. I'm using the grid on my glass mat to help me make sure that I get everything straight. And I'm going to adhere the smaller frames overlapping the larger frame. And I'm sorry, you're gonna see my head in this video a little bit because I need to kind of look down over the top of what I'm doing to make sure that I get everything lined up correctly. So I'm doing the same thing with the other side, and that's going to leave me with a one-piece shape that I've created from 3 different shapes. So this is going to actually be the shaker window on my finished card. So I have the acetate in place, these 3 shapes are adhered together, and now I'm gonna flip this over and I'm going to add some thin strips of foam adhesive around the outer edge of this frame. Now I'm not gonna put any adhesive between the shapes on the inside of the frame, but I am going to make sure that all of the adhesive around the outside of the shape butts up against the adhesive that's next to it so that there's no holes for my shaker guts to fall out of. Does that make sense? So you can see how I'm kind of stopping where those 2 shapes meet. I want the sequins or the shaker guts that I put inside of this to be able to flow between the shapes, but I don't want them to come out of the outside of the shape. So I'm just going around the very outer edge of this shape that I've created. Now, once I get all of this adhesive in place, I'm actually going to remove the backer and put a second layer of foam adhesive on the back of this shape that I've created, just around the outside edge, so that I can have plenty of clearance for all of my sequins to move around inside of this shape on my card front. Now, I did want to mention the foam adhesive that I'm using today is actually just the DIY foam adhesive that I create large panels for the back of my card fronts out of. It works really well when you trim it down into smaller pieces as well. So for my shaker guts, I am going to use this Crater Lake sequin mix from Catherine Pooler, and I am going to dump it straight onto my card front. Now, this card front is created from some Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock that I've die cut using the Pinkfresh Studio Essential diagonal stitched rectangles. So you can see I've just grabbed a few of those sequins there. I've placed them on the center of my card. I've kind of scooched them to the middle so that I can place this shaker frame directly over the top of my shaker guts. So I'm kind of building from the bottom up. Now I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the top of this foam adhesive that I've placed around the outside edge of the back of my frame so that I can kind of slide it into place if I need to. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to line it up over my card front and just place it right over the top of those sequins. Now, because I've left the openings between the shapes on the back of this custom shape frame thing that I've created, I should be able to go right over the top of those sequins and not be on top of any of those sequins. So I'm just pressing that down, and you can see all of these sequins move around beautifully inside of the shape, and they can move from one diamond to the other. They're not like confined just to the diamond that they ended up in. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Sometimes I'm like, makes sense to me, but I don't know if it makes sense to everybody else. So to complete this card, I am going to add a few of these Dahlia washi tape die cut pieces around the outer edge of the frame. I don't want to cover up too much. I think this makes a gorgeous thank you card. It would also be a beautiful wedding card or bridal shower card. So you could use congrats instead. I am just kind of accenting the frame just a little bit with some florals. And I had this thanks from the Fancy Script Word hot foil sentiment and coordinating die set from Pinkfresh Studio that I adhered along the bottom there. Now I took this entire card front and I adhered it onto a top folding craft A2 size card base. I just thought the craft was really a beautiful kind of juxtaposition against all of this really beautiful sparkly floral. It kind of adds that rustic floral look to it. And I did add some sequins on the outside of the shaker window as well. Now I felt like it needed a little bit of color, so I took a strip of Jade cardstock and adhered it right underneath that foiled sentiment. And that completes my card for today, featuring some brand new gorgeous products from Pinkfresh Studio. And if you missed yesterday's video, be sure to check it out because I shared 5 different ways to use these brand new essential hot foil shapes from Pinkfresh Studio. I shared a bunch of ways. I shared a look at all of the different shapes that these are available in. And I think that these are really going to be a staple in my craft stash from here on out. As always, I'll have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I will have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I am so glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed this video and this project. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you won't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials that I share here. And if you loved this video, I would love it if you would share it with a friend. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.